Yeah. It was authentically Brownsville when I heard him rapping. Can I get an amen on that? And so there was this, and I think you said it earlier as you spoke about just wanting to be true to just the community. How do you maintain that and maintain your faith all at the same time?
Well, I had to realize that Army is its own person. Like, I'm Khalil, and that's who God saved. You know, Army, I hid behind this Army guy. You know, I hid behind wanting people to respect me and see me as this big artist, but, you know, I hid behind him so long that I lost who I really was. Money, and I'm traveling the world, but who am I? You know what I mean? And I had to get to a place of myself. I had to be comfortable. People always say you gotta be who you are, but you cannot know who you are unless you know whose you are. I had to really understand, like, and I gotta be honest, like, I had to really understand, like, flaws in all. I gotta accept that. I gotta accept me and then present that. Transparency. For me, my ministry is transparency. I gotta be 100. I can't be anything but me. I can't, I was outside, I was on the streets, I did that stuff. But at the same time, I was in that church. I got saved because I heard a VeggieTales song when I was 7. Wow. So I knew God all my life, you know what I mean? He was
Bet you never heard that from a rapper before.
VeggieTales saved my life.
We're going to come back around as we make sure everybody speaks. That's great, Army. Kilonda, your platform is unique. And even as we just saw this evening from the Breakfast Club. But what is God speaking to you right now as you continue to submit your art and the opportunities that you're given? When you stand up in front of people and you're standing on a platform, what is Kilonda thinking about?
Well, with everything that's been going on lately, it's like blowing my mind, just the fact of like when you step out in obedience and like you follow God no matter where He's telling you. He doesn't tell you the end of the story. He just like says, follow me. And so just to see where everything has progressed, what's on my mind is like the culture and how much they need to have something a way to reach God. And it's not like how many of us may have found God. It's not like many of us like in the church and things like that. They need somebody who looks like them, who can see them eye to eye. And even like we've been going live for the last 40 nights praying on Instagram, and just to see people come on and like pray for hip hop with me, but then they're like, yo, pray for me too. And it's just like how many of them go into their churches and feel comfortable to like say, pray for me. So it's something that God is showing me that the culture needs. They need people our age too, like young adults. Like sometimes we always say like, when I get older, I'm gonna serve God fully. But it's like you almost in heaven when you old. So it's like you gotta, not to play anybody's name, not to play any, but it's like it's a beautiful thing. I've learned at my age now, like to walk with God and know Him now. There's a rich opportunity to walk with Him. And I don't want my generation to miss out on that.
Yes. So is there a sense of urgency that you have just
yes.
as an artist now?
Yes.
And how do you maintain that? Just that urgency. What does that even look like? Is it in the content of your songs, or the desperation of staying booked? What does that look like?
It looks like praying, and praying that God would move my steps. Because every time that I've run into anybody, it's just been like God. And I've realized that a lot of the things that I used to look at have faded so much now. Like you look at this person's doing it, so that person's doing it, so I gotta stay on top of my grind. But now it's like, nah, I actually gotta pray more. Yeah. I gotta be led by God more, and I gotta let Him, because now I'm watching with you. I'm watching all, I don't know what God's gonna do, right. But I know that He's gonna lead me. And so even with my music, like kind of like what Army was saying, like stay authentic and stay real to who I am, but not trying to stay ahead of the next person.
Yeah. Saga, we can't forget you, bro. Lewis, I want to just ask you this question because for most of us here, we know that you are in that world of hip-hop battles. And as much as you're in that world, you're also very active in your church communities. This brother leads worship You know, go figure, he goes in and out of these rap battles, and then my man be leading worship in church. I've known you for a while, bro. I'm that old guy that Kimano was talking about. That's cool stuff. It's you being a light in very dark places. You're back in church community. What's it like jumping in and out of those two worlds?
I think, you know, my church life and that community, it kind of builds me up for that environment. For those who don't understand or are not too familiar with battle rap, I'll give you a more general term that people can understand. How many people watch Wild 'N Out? Anybody watch or have heard Wild 'N Out, right? So, you know, you have this thing on Wild 'N Out called Wild Style. And it's like they pretty much make fun of their opponent, and if it's funny, you get a bell and stuff like that. So you take the comedic side out of it for a second, and you get to the ridicule, the vulgarity, you're degrading somebody, you're breaking them down lyrically, and I stand as one of the only Christians in that platform. So just besides being a Christian in that platform and worrying about what they're going to say to me, I have to keep myself spiritually aware of what's around me because there's women, there's drugs, there's liquor flowing, and you have to prepare yourself in these kind of environments. You know, like you have to just really take into accountability who you're around. That's why I always keep people with me at battles, like my brother Rich. And it's all about accountability in these situations.
That takes courage, brother. Because I know somebody like spitting all up in my face.
I'm a germaphobe. I hate it.
Yeah, I've seen the videos.
Oh,
I mean, yeah. So, you know, I just wanted to throw out just maybe two more questions, and then if I have time, I want to ask a couple questions from the house here. And we'll see if you guys start thinking about your questions, okay? I'm going to try to get out there to you. We'll have a little fun with this. But, you know, we were talking about what you're doing in the battle rap scene, and then you're steadfast and faithful to your local church community. Do we, across the panel here, for anybody now, do we feel like the current position of the church is being supportive of Christian hip hop right now? Just from your opinion, your perspective, do you all feel like the local church community is in a place now where they're supportive of what you all are doing in hip hop? Go Plachette once. You want this one right now.
Well, as a promoter for many years with a lot of Christian artists, hip hop, it's I can say from 2000 to 2019, I don't think it is. I think that the church is maybe recently have been a little tolerant of it, or churches that kind of cater to the culture of hip hop or culture. It's kind of like compartmentalized in a sense.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I don't think that, even in my experience in the past less than 5 years, it's kind of been like, you know, what's in it for me? You know, you got a lot of churches that are in it for themselves, and they're like, we want to reach the lost. You know, it's not about me personally, but it's about the soul. So I think a lot of the churches don't maybe understand the aspect that this is not something that we're using because we didn't make it, or rap is not, you know, this is a God-given gift that we're using to reach the lost. And for me, the reason why I got behind Christian hip hop, because it was outreach oriented. It wasn't necessarily, you know, in the church at the time.
Yeah.
It was more outreach. So the church I was a part of at that time, we would do outreach in the streets.
Yeah.
So when it came to Christian hip hop, for me, and to push it, it was solely about the souls, because you would see when we go on the street, dudes coming up like, yo, I like the dude's hot, and then next thing you know, they have to also, you know, repentance. So
You use the word tolerant, and that for me, I'm hearing you, and I'm like, man, that's disappointing. If that's how you feel. As someone who's putting together incredible outreaches, what do you say to the church who you need to stand with you in those outreaches, obviously for discipleship and follow-up? What does Plachette say to that church that might just have sort of a tolerant attitude? How do we get the church thinking beyond that? What do you say?
It's the commission. You know, it's what we're called to do. It's a part of the church. We are a part of the church. It's a part of, if you want to be churchy, the fivefold evangelical I'm just coming from that aspect because Christian hip hop has two, in my perspective, two meanings. Sometimes it's edification and sometimes it's outreach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the outreach part is to help bring the souls in. So that's where, when we go in these communities, we just need the church to understand that we're not just to look cool, but we have something. There's an anointing, there's a gift. It's just coming through music that God has given us, you know, and we definitely, we're doing it because God has given it to us. It's not something that it's just for you, you know, it's for everybody. The lost, the saved, the rich, the poor.
Yeah.
But it's just hip hop, and hip hop is what the most influential right now in society.
Yeah.
So,
I know Ishan wants to jump on it too. Ishan, let me add this to your thought. How do you respond to the local church that feels like hip hop is just simply conformity to the world? How do you respond, Ishan, to that thought and that perspective?
That's actually my point. I think we all look at it. I know I have for many years. Like, man, the church is not supporting what we're doing. But I think as artists, we have a responsibility to kind of lead with the things of God instead of lead how hip hop tells us to lead. In terms of our careers, in terms of the way we do music. Hip hop literally came out of a place of pride and ego. That's hip hop. I tell people all the time, you go back and listen to Sugar Hill Gang, and it was about how much money I got, how many women I got, how much clothes and jewelry and cars that I had. It's the same thing that hip hop is now. Hip hop, you know, people had this nostalgia with old hip hop, like, oh, it was different. It wasn't different. It was the same exact message that it is today. And so what we're tempted to do as Christian artists, we take a page from hip hop. We say, I'm gonna deliver it like this, I'm gonna spit it like this. And it's naturally prideful. Here we are as believers, we're called to lead with humility. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the total opposite of what regular hip hop is. Regular hip hop is me, I'm better than you. You can't do what I do, you don't have what I have. You're not better than me. You know what I'm saying? I'm better than you. That's hip hop. And so us, we come and say, it's not about me. You know what I'm saying? I tell people all the time, like, I remember when I first started rapping for the Lord and with humility and trying to uplift people, I was walking down the street, South Street in Philly, and it was a battle going on. It was the Black Eyed Peas inside of a record store, and they was judging a battle. I walked in there like, let's have it. You know what I'm saying? I jumped in the battle, I'm battling the guy. And this is the first time this ever happened to me. The second round, I couldn't tear him down anymore. I'm like, I can't tear this guy down. I gotta uplift this guy. So I start talking positive about the guy, lifting him up. He's looking at me strange, like, what are you doing? I'm literally full of conviction, like, bro, I can't. The system is already hard enough on you. Why am I going to tear you down? It's like, this is during the time me coming to the Lord fully, me grasping the understanding of what we're supposed to be in the community. We're supposed to walk like Christ. We're supposed to behave in that manner. So how can I tear this brother? Like, I just couldn't do it. And so the third verse came around, you know, we added, and I was like, well, I just can't. So I just lifted him up again. At the end of the battle, Black Eyed Peas stand up, they're like, yo, Ishan, you won technically. But this is a battle. You can't uplift people. So you lost. Like, you're giving it to this guy. Like, wow. So good. Because that's what hip hop is about. It's about the opposite. So if we're leading with what God wants, we have to stand on that and not follow the trends of the world. We have to be trendsetters who set a blazing path.
Anybody have any questions? And what we're going to do is we're going to take this next few minutes to throw out general questions that you might have, and I'm leaving for you all, any one of you, to answer some of these questions. Hi, please stand up. This might limit the number of questions. What's your name? Hi, Jennifer.
So I want to make sure that I put this in the right context, so I wrote it out. I said, how do you as rappers and performers answer the question about homosexuality and your stand on the issue being believers and what the word says?
where do we stand as rappers on that question? Who's asking the question?
Well, being that you're performers, this is a question that may be asked to you. So in the media, you're seeing now that
By the media. So the media is asking us this question.
Exactly. So how are you answering that, thinking that it's so touchy that
Right.
when you go ahead and say God loves everyone,
Right.
well, what is your stand when the word talks about what is right and what is wrong?
Right. So
Good question.
my stance, if I'm on a radio show and they say, so what do you think about homosexuality? Are you cool with that? My first question to them is like, why you ask me that question? The last rapper you had on here, did you ask them that question? You're asking me this question because you're trying to set me up and get me caught out there. Or you want me to confess something that y'all need to be heard out here. You need me to say, no, it's fine. God loves everybody. God does love the world. He sent his son to die for the world. But God is clear in his word on his stance with that. It's a sin. So I'm standing with God. I don't care where I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm standing on his word. It's real tempting. It's tempting to be politically correct so that you can maintain the platform that you're trying to get. But again, us as believers, we're not trying to attain a platform.
That's right.
So if you're trying to, make sure you got a stage to perform on, or trying to make sure that you got, a collective group of people that support you, you're doing it wrong already. Because you got to stand on truth. Whatever come with it, come with it. We say we real. All the way real. You understand? So I just
Also, to the music, to make sure panelists just keep the mic up nice and high so everyone can hear you in the back. We had a great turnout this evening. I'm so glad you all are here. Yes. What's your name?
Daniel.
Hey, Daniel. Stand up for me, Daniel.
Yeah, that's it. First, happy Black History Month. Second of all, I pronounce your name will live with the hope. Okay.
Push-up, it's okay. Yeah. I get out about life, it's okay. Push-up. Just call me P, that's fine.
Okay, Miss P. In your outreach, right? You say you partner with organizations. So how do you bring your ministries like to community centers and city agencies, like to public schools and charter schools? How do you bring the gospel to places where they say, oh, no religion, but how can you bring it in there, with support?
Well, who we are is basically, we represent Christ, so we don't necessarily have to say, it's just like a ministry. We tell them who we are, we present who we are as believers. And we have had some resistance, but those people that resist us eventually brought us on, and the gospel is actually preached through the music. So we're still dealing with the issues. Now, is it okay if I address that young lady with that question?
Sure.
One about the issues that we do deal with is identity, and we get artists with. I'm not an artist, but I'm a promoter. But myself helping artists to understand those questions, because I myself come from that. God delivered me from homosexuality. So what I think is the people out there need to see living examples, and sometimes because the setup question for these gentlemen or whoever, because they haven't lived it, they think that they're going to answer it, that's going to pull them down and try to tear down Christ. But we got to stand on the word. And just like the Jackie Hills, I know Jackie Hills and another couple of young ladies out there, or gentlemen, I don't know about any dudes that rap that's from that, but they just need to see the world. If they would give the opportunity for those that come from that and stop telling people that there's no way out. You understand? Because that's the lie, and it's very difficult. So I feel for the artists that have gone that route and they try to bury their career, but to God be the glory, they were able to. So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Awesome. We got one way in the back. Yeah. This is good. What's up, man? What's your name?
Damascus as the artist.
Damascus the artist?
Not the artist part, just Damascus.
Just Damascus. I'm so sorry. Hey, Damascus.
Hey, God bless you guys. Quick question. So with the growing climate of more and more Christian hip-hop artists coming about, there's also a growing, quote-unquote, epidemic that people want to be Christian artists, but not be Christian, or nor speak about Christianity within their music. So technically, what does that make them to you? Thank you.
Damascus just dropped the mic and walked away. Yeah.
I'm gonna answer that one. In my line, I've had the honor of touring around and going to different schools in Australia and New Zealand and stuff. And the first thing they say to you is, "No Jesus." Like, no Jesus. So what happened was you had to live it. Plain and simple, you had to we would literally change our lyrics from Christ to life. Like, yeah, I'm talking about life. Like, it worked. It was Australia. They know what we talking about. you give them a hard bar, and they just like, yeah. But if you give them like, just live life, like they screaming or whatever. But, I realized you have to be so strong in your walk that you can blend in. You have to be, for me, I feel like I have to be a chameleon. See, I'm outside with the Pirus, I'm outside with the Crips, for real. Because I need them to understand that I'm here. And I was with you. I went with you there. We did this, but I'm here now. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes they don't want to hear that. We got friends, I don't want to hear all that Christian stuff, I don't want to hear all that. So the best answer for them is literally our character. I feel like when character speaks, the world listens. We shouldn't even have, this is so cliche, but it's 100. Like, you shouldn't have to tell people you Christian. You really shouldn't have to. So, as artists, I encourage artists, say it. But when you say it, you better say it.
Yeah.
As a Christian artist, we know if you gonna rap about God, you better rap about God. Don't come with that, oh, Jesus died, he rose. Boy, you better rap. You gotta rap, and you gotta understand this is still an art. Like he said, this is an art form. So if you're gonna be in this arena, you better paint that picture. And you gotta stand on that. Because I've done it. I've rapped all types of raps. I done led altar calls and went home and got high. So what was the point of doing all that if I'm not gonna live it? Right. I'd rather not say it and live it. Yes. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're gonna be that artist, be them. But don't feel bad, because you are going to have to go into arenas where you can't speak on God's name. People not ready for it. I don't understand why they're not ready for good news, but they just not. So you just got to show them. And what you do by showing them is love. I don't understand how people preach all of this love stuff and don't show no sign of it. That bothers me. Just show them.
Army from Brownsville.
Can I say something to that too? Yeah. Everything the brother just said, all facts. I think what you might have been asking as well was about a lot of the artists that wave the banner but don't live it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I think for me personally, it's easy to become popular. It's been easy to become popular in the small Christian community. And we watch the support from Christian hip hop elevate people to places in the world. It's like, who is that? How'd he get there? He got how much money? He sold how many records? So we as a community have come together and just lifted up artists so well. So now you got artists, just to be honest, you got artists like, yo, I'm gonna just do it this way. I'm gonna just get on this way. And then I'm gonna just switch my pitch and just float to the world with it. Yeah. Because they have a heart for hip hop, not a heart for God. Yes. Hip hop is a drug. Yes. It's a drug. Everything that comes with it, the lifestyle that comes with it, people like right up on you, all enamored by you, worshiping you in a sense. That's a drug. Quoting your music, telling you how much they love you, that's a drug. Popularity, celebrity is a drug. And a lot of people go after that, and in chasing that, they lose their zeal for the kingdom. That's the problem that we're facing in Christian hip hop right now. People want to be popular. They want to make songs that's catchy, and that's fine, but keep the main thing, the main thing. And the Lord will open and stretch out your territory. We know the Bible says that promotion comes from where?
Amen.
That's universal. That ain't just in the body. Promotion comes from the Lord. So if you're trying to attain something, if you're after something, God's giving you a heart for something, follow Him. He got the blueprint, not some man-made blueprint. You're trying to follow, and then you follow that and you lose His way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me back there? All right, cool. Just trying to find a balance. I want to add a piece to that puzzle and say it stems from identity as well, because I think what's happening is a lot of people are coming from the world and they was already rapping. And then you got people like everybody up here and they see that they're doing it for Christ and they're like, wow, man, what you said really transformed me. And then they go to church and then they get saved.
Right.
Now I'm saved. I used to do music. What do I do with it? I use my talent for God. And there's nothing wrong with using your talent for God, but if I look at it biblically, I would say sometimes, a lot of times, most times, we would need to go through a process. Because if we looked at the people that God used mightily, it was a process.
Amen.
It was a process. Because you got to be delivered from who you was. Because just because Christ saved you, when you see a bunch of oneness, something still rise up in you. When you still hear other people's songs and they got more followers than you, some egos still start to rise up in you. So, I'm a minister at heart. So if you look into the word, and you see John the Baptist, he said, I must decrease so he can increase. Because the Bible says that we're fearfully and wonderfully made in God. So we got to get our identity from God. And you have to be able to go through the process. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Moses. He was in the arena. God took him out, transformed him, built him up, and sent him back to that place. Because he couldn't be overconsumed by where he came from. So he had to be transformed, not outwardly, but inwardly.
Come on.
Y'all ain't know all these rappers and preachers. I think I got time for one more question. Maybe two. I'm not quite sure. Yes, sir. What's your name? Aaron.
Yeah, so my question is, do I have to direct that at a specific person or anyone give to? Okay. So my question is, how do you guys feel about the phrase that's been coined a lot lately, which is, I'm not a Christian rapper, I'm a rapper who's a Christian? How do you feel about that?
One of the things that, I know like for me, like as a rapper, that was one of the things that for a while I struggled with it, because I was like, well then what do I call myself? So I remember when I was in college, I was a part of this secular college tour called No Boys Allowed. And so you had to audition and all this type of stuff. So I said, you know what, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna rap and like be who I am. And the fact is that I never told them I was a Christian. They knew I was a rapper. But as soon as I would like be in rehearsals with them, they're like, yo, you a Christian? And yes, I am. And then that would open up the door for me to like talk and like communicate with different people. But the fact is that no matter what you call yourself, a rapper who's a Christian rapper, they're gonna know you by your fruit. They're gonna know you by your walk, they're gonna know you by your character, they're gonna know you by all of those things. So don't get caught up on trying to defend the title. Because even for me, like sometimes you watch interviews and it's like, we spend so much time like trying to define it that it's like, we didn't talk about nothing else. All the whole interview is like, so are you a Christian or are you like, you know, it's like, no, there's other stuff we could talk about. Like, be who you are and who God made you to be, but don't get caught up on like, well, what should I call myself? Because no matter what, they're still gonna know you as a Christian. They're still gonna call you a Christian. Like how Army said, like, you should never have to say you're a Christian. They should see it anyway, but don't be ashamed when they see it. Stand by it and continue to walk in what God's called you to be.
Let me say something real quick. For any artist that's dealing with that, if you're having problems, you're like, man, am I a Christian rapper? Or am I just a rapper? Just a Christian? If you're having that problem, I got a tip for you. If you're a rapper, chances are good chance, you know what I mean, speaking for the majority, you're not the best rapper, right? So you're not an A-list rapper. Chances are, you know what I'm saying, you got a few A-list rappers. You might be a B-list or a C-list rapper. That's where you're going to be at in that hip-hop industry if you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a Christian in that heart and this is what you want to do, you go into that secular world, chances are you're going to, here's the tip. Being a Christian rapper actually makes you more interesting. Because you get a chance to redefine what people think about that. People like, man, that's corny. You're a Christian, man. Christian rap is whack. How many times have I heard that? And then they listen to my music, but listen to some other music, people I know, and they're like, this Christian rap? Yeah. It changes their whole perspective. So you could just be a regular rapper and fall in line with all the other rappers. Or you could walk in that. You say, yeah, I'm a Christian rapper. Well, let me hear something. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? So be interested. I mean, just for anybody dealing with that, don't fight against it. Me personally, I never fought against it. I don't mess around and call myself a Christian rapper. I don't run around saying, yeah, I'm a Christian rapper. But when people call me that, I don't run away from it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Saga, and I got one last question.
I'll make this real quick. In regards to, I've come across that a few times in my career, like when people ask me, are you a Christian rapper or a rapper that's Christian? And for anybody, like you said, for anybody who's facing that situation, personally, as an artist, I ask you this question: what comes first in your life? You know, you gotta think about: are you a Christian who raps, or are you a rapper who just loves God? It's a different type of foundation in that situation. Like, what do you put first in your life? You know, like before, I used to run away from the idea of being a Christian rapper because of how people would, you know, kind of push you away at a certain distance. Oh, we don't want to hear that, like you said. But I've learned over the years to just embrace who I am first before I embrace my gift. And I'll wave it like a flag. I'll wear it like a badge of honor. Like I'm a Christian rapper. And I create conversation because, like they said, in regards to, oh, Christian rap is whack, we don't know. And you show them who you are. You show them who you are with the gift that God gave you. It answers all the questions for that. You know, so.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lewis. Got one more question here. What's your name?
Yeah, hey, how you doing? God bless you, brothers and sisters. Yeah, my question. My name's Luke. Yeah, my question is. Anyway, Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat of its fruit. The reason I kind of bring up this question myself is, because I'm out here pulling myself. I've been rhyming, before I was a believer, since like '99. But one thing is, once I started to really fully surrender to the Lord, I just question to all the artists, to Ishan, to all the writers, like. I know for myself when I try to write something, maybe I can write a few lines, but it's like when you think about the word of God, there's the emotional artist in me wants to say certain things, but I'm like, no, death and life are in the power of tongue, and like that's not, the word of God has convicted me. So now, whereas before I could write 32 bars or whatever it is real quick, now it's like I may just get a few lines here, a few lines there. So I just, that's my question to you guys, and God bless you. Yeah.
I would say, like, because I've seen that too, like, sometimes as rappers, like, when you get saved, and then it's like, well, how do I still rap? I think it's no problem to take a seat for a while and, like, allow yourself to continue to grow in God and grow deeper into His Word and who He wants you to be, and it'll flow out of you naturally, as opposed to trying to force it. Like, I used to be able to do it this way. It takes time for, like, the transformation of your mind, like, all those types of things. Give it time to work. Like, don't force yourself. Like, there's no time. Like, with God, like, the timetable is, like, done. Like, He goes according to His time. So let Him grow you as a person, and then that person will begin to create as an artist. So who you are as a person matters first.
I just want to remind all the artists that you are still artists. God has given you a canvas that you are allowed to paint on. Sometimes you're going to use yellow and blue. Sometimes it's black and red. I went through suicidal depression. I had to rap. That don't mean y'all gonna hear those songs. That don't mean I'm gonna share. It's like writing in the journal. I wrote it. That don't mean you gonna hear it unless I want you to hear it. But writing for us is therapy. Rapping is therapeutic. We're healed, like we're wounded healers up here. We are literally breaking and pouring ourselves and letting you know how we feel and what we think and what happened to us, and giving you the cure at the same time as the symptom. You understand what I'm saying? So if it's on your heart, get that out, because it's coming out.
There you go.
It's coming out one way or another. So it's better for you to get that out, right? Rap it out, bro. It's okay. They not gonna. I'm gonna keep it at that. It's okay. It's okay, bro. You're still painting a picture, and the picture is for you. Sometimes it's just for you, but you're gonna hide your feelings in your prayers. I told to God, yo, God, what is going on? God, you gotta be kidding me. When my man CK King, when he went viral with that, bro, that was really my prayer, bro. Yo, God, for real, son? That's real. On moms, bro. That's really how I speak. That's how I speak, because if I'm gonna be the best version of myself, then I gotta be 100% with God. We can front for each other, but I'm gonna be a thou with God because He already knows what's up.
Yeah. Here we go. Listen. That's incredible. I still got bars too. It's all at home with my kids and my wife. It's just me, God, my family. What's your name?
I am Diana.
Hi, Diana. And she showed me this question. I was like, this is our last question right here. I just need one person to answer it.
So, I don't know who would answer it, but how do you feel about Christian music, particularly rap, being played in like clubs and such?
Clubs and such.
Play that.
I usually need a quick answer. Play that. And why? Kilanda?
Because that's why, like, for us, at least I can say for me, like, I don't create it for just like I'm not trying to have a little bubble huddle. Like, I want my music to get out and like reach a lot of people. I'm not trying to keep it just in my circle, because my circle already is light. Like, we gotta take it everywhere. And that's why I love to go into arenas like that too, like that, like light going into darkness. How they gonna see if you're not there?
That's right. Remember, what are they doing as artists? Go ahead.
Real quick.
Go ahead, Sean.
That's the net, man.
Yes.
The music is the net. That's what's gonna catch the fish, you know what I'm saying? I was sharing with Pastor Ham backstage earlier. I had a guy that was in jail, and they had like these little devices, you know what I'm saying, in jail that you go watch movies, read books, and listen to music on. And there's not a large selection of music on these devices, right? And so they got a whole bunch of secular music, and you know, I think they have like maybe a few gospel rappers or whatever. He found my album on there. In jail, God looking for answers, looking for hope, praying God finds this music and gets saved. And now he's on the streets of Newark, New Jersey, preaching the gospel and sharing his faith. But look. The idea and the concept is, as artists, we're true to what God calls us to say, and we leave it in God's hands for Him to determine where it goes and who it reaches. You know what I'm saying? I said it on Twitter the other day. When people are looking for hope, people desperate, people on the verge of suicide, it's more common for people to type in CHH, gospel, Christian, God, church, than it is for them to do anything else. And so they want to find that thing that's going to tell them what they need to hear at that time. And what's better than God's living word? We know that the Bible says that's what. Can't no man come to the Father unless the Spirit draw. Putting His word out is what's going to capture the hearts of people. Not us trying to be clever about doing it, but just, no. We said a whole lot.
Are you all getting fed? I'm getting fed. There's more to come tonight, and this has been so good. And I hope there are also church leaders that are here in God's house, talking about hip hop, the importance of it, the effects of it, the influence and the impact of it. And we have to continue to have this conversation. I pray that you all would take from what Keelanda has done tonight, and maybe this needs to happen more often in other places throughout our city. This is really good. Listen, these artists, these influencers are in a spiritual fight. Maybe some other rappers and artists, obviously, that we heard, they're in a spiritual fight. You can't go forward as an artist who is a believer in Christ Jesus, whether you're a Christian rapper or a rapper who's a Christian. It's still a spiritual fight. Can I get an amen? Amen. And so I was listening to a little bit of this, and I just wanted to sum it up. Just take a few minutes and give you a passage of scripture that when I do artist development, I start with this foundation out of 1 Samuel chapter 16. And some of you were referring to it as we were discussing. And Arnie, you said it about the authenticity of your writing and the importance of getting it out. And getting it out and doing good work and being an artist, knowing that God is going to build your platform for you. It's really important for you to understand. And so I was reading, actually start with verse 16 is fine. This is an incredible moment when, if you remember the scripture, there was an evil spirit that came upon Saul. And immediately after an evil spirit came upon Saul, this is what happened in 1 Samuel 16:16. Let our Lord command his servants here to search for someone who can play the lyre. He will play when the evil spirit from God comes on you, and you will feel better. Which means it's not just about playing, but this is a spiritual battle that you're facing as artists. Go to verse 17 real quick. This is interesting. So Saul said to his attendants, find someone who plays well and bring him to me. In the ESV, it says, find somebody who plays skillfully. Which means you better know how to do what you do.
That's right. Come on, Jesus.
Don't be an artist and not truly work on your craft. I need somebody who plays well. That's what Saul said. I need somebody who's good at what they do. A good rapper, a good singer, a good musician, a good writer. Go to verse 18 real quick. I'm going to make this fast. One of the servants answered, I have seen a son of Jesse of Bethlehem who knows how to play the lyre. Stop right there. It's very important that you are mindful of how much you continue to self-promote. Because if you're doing it for the glory of the Lord, somebody's going to talk about you. If your heart is right, if you're committed to doing what you do for the glory of Jesus, somebody's going to bear witness that you have a calling in life and you have a gift and you're an artist. And so somebody goes, I see this kid, this son of Jesse of Bethlehem who knows how to play the lyre. He is brave and a warrior. He speaks well. My man's good looking too. Meaning this, get yourself together. There is so much more that you need to put into focus other than just the art that you're working on. You need to be brave. You need to be courageous. You need to step out and be bold. If you got a song, as Army said, my brother who spoke in the back, you better sing that song. When somebody says, oh, can you sing? You're like, yeah, I can sing. Sing something. No. You better be brave and sing that song. Or rap that song. Or whatever you do. Poetry, whatever it is. But we need some courageous people this hour, this generation, right now, who are going to step out of faith and sing a song that glorifies Jesus Christ. Great warriors, meaning this is a fight. In New York City, it's a fight. In Jersey, it's a fight. Everywhere we go, it's a fight. And I'm telling you right now that for every artist that's in this room, you better be ready to fight. There's going to be resistance. He speaks well. You need to be able to articulate the word of God. So you need to be studying God's word. You need to have an understanding of his word. You need to stay under your pastor, your leadership. You need to get in some discipleship so that when they try to check you in interviews, you know exactly what to say. All that I do is for the glory of Jesus Christ. I have a Savior. His name is Jesus. He died for my sins, rose again on the third day, and I won't waver in what I believe. You need to be able to express that well. Right. He's good looking. Just work on your hygiene. And the Lord is with him. Verse 19. We're almost done. Then Saul sent messengers to Jesse and said, send me your son David who is with the sheep. With the sheep. With the sheep. Is anybody here maybe in a place where your audience is just the sheep? Just your furniture in your room, just singing shower and singing to your family members, and just be content wherever you are and trust that in God's perfect timing, somebody's going to call on you out of the fields. Somebody's going to call on you out of the valley. Somebody's going to call on you out of the mountain, but you need to keep singing when you're in the valley. You need to keep rapping when there's no audience, because there is always an audience of one, and that is God. And as long as I've got God, I'm going to keep on rapping. I'm going to keep on singing. I'm going to keep on dancing. Verse 20, real quick, we're almost done. So Jesse took a donkey loaded with bread, a skin of wine, and a young goat, and sent them with his son David to Saul. Verse 21. Thank you. Daddies always take care of their sons. At least we like to believe that. But here we go. David, that's a whole other message. David came to Saul and entered his service. Saul liked him very much, and David became an incredible singer doing concerts. And David became this dope rapper that was just laying out bars. And David was performing on tour. And David, after working on his gift and his craft out in the shepherd field, the mountain field, he stepped into this place where Saul was, and he was rocking shows. No. Actually, he shows up and he's just an armor bearer. Be willing to serve in your church community in areas where it doesn't reflect your craft.
Jesus.
That's good. That's good.
That's good.
I know some of you haven't been called on to do what you know you can do.
Wow.
Those very things that are dear to you, passionate, full of life, and you're excited to go and to perform.
Wow.
But just trust God in the process.
Hallelujah.
That as you continue to serve in whatever capacity God has put you in, something else happens. Oh, one more verse and we're done.
Keep going.
Y'all know that next verse? Ooh. Verse 22. Then Saul sent word to Jesse saying, allow David to remain in my service, for I am pleased with him. Verse 23. Whenever the spirit from God came on Saul, whenever that evil spirit came on Saul, David would take up his lyre and play. Then relief would come to Saul. He would feel better, and the evil spirit would leave him when he played well.
Right.
Darkness has to flee when your stuff is all together, prepared and ready to go. Devil can't stand when there is an anointed artist in the presence of anybody. This is a spiritual fight. You need to understand that. And so what we just read is so much more to just developing the craft. Your character. Who you are in Jesus. In close, I'm a pastor. I get 3 closes. It says in Proverbs chapter 18 that your gifts will make room for you and bring you before great men. Yes, your gifts will make room for you, but your character determines how long you'll last.
Come on.
You go back. You read 1 Samuel 16. And may you in your own time recognize that not only does God call you to be a creative and an artist, but he wants to anoint you so that demons flee at the sound of your art. It is all about the art and the heart. Never separate the two. They always belong together.